guys, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. On today's video, I'm gonna do my first update on my blush project. And this is an exciting project for me. I've done so well in it and I think you guys loved it a lot. So I had a plan to choose different blushes, but then one of you was kind enough to send me a gift and it included a few blushes. I think it was 4 blushes or 5 blushes. So I decided that that's what I want to use on this update since I just want to show love to them, and I'm mixing it up with a few oldies that I have in my collection. So if you want to see how I did with my last set of blushes or my first set of blushes and then the blushes that I chose for this project, then just keep on watching. Okay, so since I told you guys that I was gonna be doing these updates monthly, I haven't finished using 2 of the blushes, but I have only 1 use left. It makes sense because if you count 10 blushes, then 4 times each, those are 40 days. So the math is not gonna be exact, but I've used them a lot. I've used them a lot, and then sometimes I use 2 at a time and whatnot. And sometimes I use other things that I have in my collection, other palettes, and then I go in for the blush that I have there. So it's not an exact science. I've come to know myself more when it comes to blushes after just 1 update. Okay, so the first one that I had here was Savage, and this one is a beautiful bronzy blush. It's a warm brown shimmering blush from NARS, and I truly love these. If you want to see swatches of them and if you want to see them up close, you can go to my intro video. So on each video I'm gonna show you the new blushes. I'm not gonna show you the blushes that were in the last video. I'm gonna show them right here, but I'm not gonna do swatches or anything. This is a shimmering formula, and I found that it works best just to top off the excess or to remove the excess in the back of your hand, and then to use a dual fiber brush. So I just work the brush in it and then just swipe a little bit off so that it melts into the brush, and then I apply it. This formula is not the easiest to work with because it can be a little bit wet in a way. So I haven't used it with a sponge, but I think that's gonna be too much application because this is highly pigmented. But it worked for me using it with a small dual fiber, blending it into the blush and then working it into my skin. But these will be nice and nicer for a darker skin tone than mine because on me I have to use so little just to not go ham and look crazy. But it's beautiful. I love it when I have a fake tan. Right now I have a fake tan. I know. It's about 5 days old, so I'm getting lighter again, but I have the fake tan still. And I love this with a fresh fake tan. I can only imagine what it would do for a darker skin tone. Almeria is a matte tan rose, and this is from NARS as well. This was limited edition. I like the finish of it on my skin, but I have to tell you guys, this I can use with anything because it's more of a drier formula. So even though it's highly pigmented, it doesn't really show up on my skin harshly, but I don't love this type of color on myself. Like, I don't want to reach for it that much. I will keep using them. I will keep rotating them. I will carry more of these shades on my kit so that I can get more use out of them because these are oldies. These are oldies in my collection. But I just know that I won't be purchasing more wine type of shades for myself. The Savage one, I would purchase this type of color again because it's more of a brown color. But for reddish wine colors, I have more than enough in my collection for sure. I have here Sin from NARS, and this is a wonderful color. It's a different color. It's again not a color that if I saw another blush similar to it, I would purchase. I haven't seen a blush similar to this one. This is so unique. But I have to be honest, this is just one of those shades of blushes that even though when I use it, I feel like, okay, I don't have anything like it in my collection. I wouldn't have repeats. I wouldn't want to have this shade or different tones of the same type of shade in my collection. I don't reach for them enough. And it took me a little bit of work and a little bit of thinking to use them regarding a look. I basically want to go for nudes and peachy blushes, and this is not the type of color. So now I know that purples and wine colors are just gonna be in a no buy eternally for me because with this one I will have this blush for my entire life. I can only guess if I don't use it every day. Now for Isadora, which was one that I was really using before I decided to go in for this project. This one I used it. I wasn't as excited to use it because I have already been using it for about 2 weeks before I started this project, but I did use it the 4 times. I love this type of shade. I think this is the exact shade that I would love if I have to choose something reddish, but that it's not wine, because this has a little bit of that rosy tone, but it has sort of a different, I don't know, like a coral rosy tone to it, and not a purple or super cool tone type of vibe. It has a little bit of warmth to it as well. So I really loved it, and I love the way this looks on my cheeks as well. Laura Mercier Rosé, I definitely prefer strawberry if I have to choose one. Rosé was nice, but then again, I chose a lot of rose colors and a lot of wine colors. I've decided that these are not my favorite colors, and even though this one is way more light than the other two, it gives the same vibe on the cheeks. It's a different formula. It's a more workable, easier formula to work with, but it's just not my favorite shade again. So I've found out a lot about myself when it comes to blushes. Even though I adore them, I have a definite preference for them, for sure. Then for Benefit Rocketeur, this blush was definitely similar to Isadora. I wanted to try on the cheeks and find out if it was, but it was. This was one of the first ones that I reached my goal on, same as Isadora, and I really like this. I find that this is a perfect bridal blush. Same with Isadora, they can be perfect bridal blush because they give you a flush without being overpowering, and I love the scent of this one. It smells like an old lady perfume in a way, but it's a soft scent, and I really like this on the cheeks. I truly do. I remember when I got this when it was first released, and I don't know why I haven't used it more, but I need to, because I truly love these. So far from the ones that I've talked about, Isadora and this one have been my favorite. One of the first ones that I reached my goal on, and this brings me so much joy. This is Toasted Cinnamon by Burt's Bees, and I love these. This is darker than what I thought it would be. When I started paying attention to this because of the blush project, it made me realize that how different the shades are and how you can see the finishes that are different on your cheeks and stuff. So I truly felt that these will work for a deeper skin tone as well, but it worked beautifully on me. And I love it as well when I have a tan. It's sort of this bronzy, Toasted Cinnamon is the perfect name for it. I really loved it. I would highly recommend it if you're looking for a blush to use every day. This is definitely one. And you can even use a dual fiber brush if you want to apply less of it, but it's really warm and really nice. I really liked it. This was definitely one of my favorites. I will give you my top 3 at the end. Then I have here Luster from NARS, and the dip has been expanded. I love these. I don't remember which of the two I used up first 4 times, but I know that I used this over 4 times for sure, and I truly love this. I will highly recommend it. You guys know I've hit pan on it, and that tells you a lot. These two were my favorite, and then the 3rd and 4th place is between Rocketeur and Isadora, but to be honest, I think Rocketeur, I love it more than Isadora. It's a little bit softer than that one, but I love them both the same way. These are way better for sure for my taste in blush. So those are the blushes that I've hit the goal on. So these are gonna go back to their drawers or to whatever they came from. And then I have 2 more that I have to reach my goal on, and that I have 1 more use left before putting them back in their little house. And then these 2 I'm wearing on my cheeks today. I have here the hardest one for me to use because of the vibrant shade, and then I have here another one that I said that I will not get any more of these shades ever because I just have so many and I don't reach for them enough. But you can see how beautiful my cheeks look. It's not because it's me, it's just I feel that it looks beautiful. I'm using now the automatic set on my camera, and I feel that when I'm editing, even though it looks a little bit darker, it looks more realistic, and that's what I want you guys to see in my videos. I want you guys to really see me, see that I have depth right here, that I have that my skin is not perfect, how my blush is blended and everything, because I want you guys to learn about makeup. So looking them in the viewfinder or in my computer right here, I can see that they look beautiful. It's just that they don't make me excited to use them. Not because of the end result, it's because of the application. I feel like they're too highly pigmented, they're too dark for me, so I have to use a light hand with them. So the first one is Seduction, and this is another wine shade. I don't know if this has been discontinued, but this was permanent. The one that's similar to it was Almeria. The difference between those two, this is a sheen sangria red wine and Almeria is a matte tan rose, but they look pretty much the same on the cheeks. This is really nice, I think, for darker skin tones, but it looks beautiful on me. You can see it. This is the one that I have right here. And then on the apples of my cheeks, I have Coeur Battant, which is, or Battant, I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's this one right here. These, I have to use the same technique of grabbing a dual fiber brush, using a little bit of it, tapping it or blending it into the brush right here, and then applying it on my cheeks. If I don't do that, I will look like a clown because a light swatch of it looks like this. So it's a wonderful blush. I will keep it in my collection. It's unique to my collection, but it's not something that I wouldn't buy another vibrant shade like this one ever again. Okay, so now for the new blushes, or the blushes that I chose for this video. I had a list for the first update, but that's not the one that I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use the new list that I created after receiving the gifts. So I have it right here. So then the first one is Harmony, and I finished this type of blush before. I finished 2 of these small sizes from Tarte, and I love the formula of them, and they're great to travel, but at the same time they're great if they're minis, because how often do you go through a blush? So the swatch is right here. You can see how beautiful it looks, and then up close you can see that the color is so nice. It's sort of a peachy tone, but it's on the nude side, and you can see that it's in between pink and peachy. I love this. This is more of a corally nude shade, and it's completely matte. Then the second one is one that I finished before, and this was at some point, it was a gift from Tarte and Sephora when we had our birthdays, I think, or it was a VIV gift, I don't remember, but it was the Tarte Party blush. This is beautiful. Again, nude and matte, but this is definitely more on the pinky side, and you can see them side by side, how beautiful they are and how different. So yeah, this is more on the corally side, and this is more on the pinky side, but this is one of the most beautiful wearable blushes of all time. This is an exciting one. In a way, I wish it was in a different color, but it's an exciting one, and I haven't tried it, so I don't really know if the color is not gonna be one that I will love, but it looks more on the winey side and the mauve side, and that is what I realized is not my favorite shade of blush. Even though it looks nice, I do not enjoy it as much. But I wanted to talk about this formula because it's a new one for me, and I've heard about it, and I really wanted another shade of it. That doesn't matter. I'm so happy that I get to try a new formula. This is the Bare Minerals Bounce and Blur Mauve in the shade Mauve Sunrise. What I read here on the Bare Minerals website, it says it's full of creativity, free of rules. This fingertip-friendly weightless powder blush blends like a dream. No brush needed. The Good for Skin formula blurs the look of pores and imperfections for a naturally airbrush effect with no harsh lines or uneven texture. It's a buildable, blendable texture thanks to a botanical blend of hydrating botanical ingredients. So it's just something that is different, and you're supposed to be able to use it with your fingers, and it's supposed to be really easy to use. You can see this is basically a rosy shade, a mauve shade, and when you swatch it, it looks stronger, but it doesn't look like the ones that I don't like. So let's hope for it to be one of my favorites, because when you have tried so many blushes from the same brands, then having a new formula or a different formula makes you more excited to use it. So you can see it right here. It's this one right here. And then you can look at it up close. It looks shiny in a way, so it feels bouncy. It feels sort of like a cream to powder formula, but it's not a cream. It's definitely a powder, but it feels different when you touch it. It reminds me of the new Laura Mercier eyeshadows for the holiday set. If I do like this formula, at some point I would like to get Blur Buff, which is a nude one, because I would truly enjoy that color. It looks so beautiful on the website. And from the last one that Valerie sent me, this is the Dolce Vita blush. Again, same skin tone or same type of vibe. And this is a warm tone dark plum with a satin finish. And I know that this is a formula that's popular from NARS, the Dolce Vita one. I don't think I have it in any of my palettes. I have to check and see, but I don't have it in a single. And I find this to be beautiful. I already swatched it when I got it, and I really liked it because it's a satin formula. And I think when it comes to these colors, satin is better, but we'll see on the skin. It looks similar to the Bare Minerals one, but this is a lighter color. It's not as dark as that one, but we'll see on the cheeks which one will blend to be lighter, but they look similar on my hand, you can see. The other blush that I have here comes in a face palette, and this is from Laura Mercier. This was part of their holiday collection, and it's the Matinee blush, and this looks right up my alley. So this is why I wanted to put it in here, because it's new. It will help me use the palette during the holiday season, and then I will get more use out of this blush. And you guys know how much I love the Laura Mercier formula. But this palette, the formula is a little bit different, and I think in a way it's easier to work with. It feels more of a gelée type of formula. So even though it looks super bright, you can see that it's more of a light orange type of shade. And the way they blend into the skin, the blush, the highlight, and the bronzer, it's more of a satin type of color, even though it looks matte in the pan. So you can see it right here. And then even though the swatch looks powdery, they blend into the skin as if it were nothing, and they don't have fallout. They truly don't, because they're definitely a jelly type of formula. And these may be one of the palettes that will be my rotation for next year for the Panda Face palette. Now for the other 5 shades that I have here, I have 4 NARS blushes and then 1 Too Faced blush that I depotted. All of them are on this C palette. So the first one came with the Final Cut collection, I think, maybe. It was the shade Love, and this is one of my favorite NARS shades. I think they should re-release this and make it permanent. It's definitely one that I know people will keep buying. It's the one that I have right here on my finger, and it's a nude pink, but it's a nude pink with a little bit of warmth. It's this one right here. So you can see that they all look different. The ones that look closer in color are these two, but this looks beautiful on the cheeks, and I truly like this. This was described as a tea rose, so it's a rosy pink with a neutral to warm undertone and mostly a matte finish, and I couldn't agree more. It's beautiful, and it's definitely a tea rose. This is why I'm telling you guys that these would be a great addition to the permanent range of NARS blushes, because if they have more nudes, I know they would sell even more. And this is one of those perfect shades for a bride and for an everyday wearer. Then the other one that I have here for the ones that I chose is Desire, and this is a bright pink. When I started getting into these blushes from NARS, or just to high-end makeup in general, Desire was one of my favorites, and it was one of my first NARS blushes, and I would wear it every single day. I don't know what happened to me that I lost my way when it came to pink blushes, but I would wear pink blush every single day. The little speckles that you see in it, by the way, it's that I put alcohol in them every time I use them. So when I use them on clients and stuff, so I put alcohol in them, and then it looks a little bit like it has white dots, but when you blend it with your finger, they go away. So this one is described as a very cool tone, medium dark fuchsia with a natural finish. And this is really bright. I'm gonna be swatching it so that you can see the color better. You can see it right here. This is what you can call a Barbie pink blush. and it's so pretty on the cheeks. If you go in with a light hand, you will not be disappointed because it can be blend out. If you use it super harshly, it will look harsh on your face because it's highly pigmented, but it's really, really pretty. And it catches the light in a beautiful way. If you use it only in the apples of your cheeks, this will look beautiful. I can't wait to see if I fall back in love with it. This is New Attitude, and I think this one again was from the Final Cut collection. I'm not sure, but it's described as a cherry blossom pink, and it's a light medium blue base pink with a satin matte finish. This is so pretty on the cheeks. This is again Love, and this one were my favorites from the collection, and these were colors that I kept using even after they were discontinued, after the collection was gone. But you can see it right here. Is this one I made a heavy swatch. It's different from this one. This is way more cool tone. This has a little bit of warmth compared to this one. This is more blue based, but I love them both. And New Attitude on the cheeks is way more wearable than Desire. And then I also have here one of my most used NARS blushes. This is Gilda. I love it, and I bought it because it's my mom's name. In Spanish you say Gilda, but it's really, really pretty. It's a really pretty color, and it's a wearable color. It's a matte blush, but it's so soft, so everyday, so bridal as well. When you put it on brides, they look beautiful. And it's sort of a deeper orange shade, but it's so beautiful. It's this one right here in the corner. I have Gina and Gilda, and I love them both. This is the one that I will be using on this update. I know this will be one of the first that I will reach my goal on. This is a moderately warm tone dark orange with a satin finish, and it looks matte. I guess the softness comes from it being satin, but in my opinion it looks matte when you look at it in the pan. And this is part of their permanent line, so if you want to get it, Desire and this one, you can get them anytime you want. They are wonderful. And then from Too Faced, this was a limited edition one. It came in a palette. I don't remember which palette it was, but this is one of those that I've used a ton, and this is so similar to Orgasm. And this is Too Faced Who's Your Puppy, and it's a very warm tone light medium coral with a frost finish. And I know this will be one that I will use a ton for sure, and I will carry it on my kids from now on since I finished my NARS Orgasm. But it's just so similar to it. It's maybe a little bit more coral than Orgasm, but it's so pretty. It's this one that I have right here. And I love this type of formula that it's frosty and glittery. I love that. I think it looks wonderful on the cheeks, and it makes you look highlighted in a way. Okay, you guys, so these are the 10 blushes that I chose. I think I have only 2 colors that I need to make myself work in them, which are the Bounce one from Bare Minerals, but what I think is gonna save it is that it's a new formula, so that will get me more excited to use it. And then the other one, it's Dolce Vita. So let's see how I go with those shades. And I'm pretty excited to use all the nudes, all the pinks. Those make me really, really excited, and that tells me something. But I will let you guys know the top 3 for these ones as well. And that's it for the blush project, you guys. For an emoji today, let's just put something related to party, which is the Tarte blush. And that will be the emoji if you watch the entire video. Let me know which blushes you're using during the Shop My Stash type of month for blushes. So let me know if you're doing this project. If you're doing it, please put a hashtag blush project so that I can watch your videos and maybe create a playlist. But I love you guys. I hope you enjoy this project as much as I am, and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.